All right. We are live.
Welcome to Talking Social Studies. You are listening to episode 25, New Beginnings, for February 25th, 2019. This is the podcast where we talk about social studies and education today. Here you will find conversations about strategies, resources, ideas, and more, all designed to help today's social studies teachers impact their students. Hello, I'm Chris Hitchcock. I teach world history for a private online high school affiliated with Indiana University. You can find me on Twitter at chitch94. You can also find our Talking Social Studies website at bit.ly/talkingss.
Hi, everybody. I'm Scott Padway. I am a tech coach and history teacher in Pleasanton, California. You can find me on Twitter at Scott Padway.
Hi, everybody. I'm Amy Presley. I'm a history teacher at Broken Arrow High School near Tulsa, Oklahoma. You can follow the Talking Social Studies podcast on Twitter at Talkin, no G, SS, and you can find me at STLNOK. And we have a new member to our social studies team who is amazing. He is the fabulous Chris Heffernan. Chris, you introduce yourself?
I will. Hey, everyone. I'm Chris Heffernan. I'm a 7th grade global studies teacher at Jefferson Junior High in Naperville. I have been teaching for 22 years, all at the middle school level, and I am super excited to be here. On Tuesday nights, you can find me at World GeoChat on Twitter, and every other night, I'm apparently hanging out with the Talkin' SS crew, so I'm really excited about this.
Woohoo!
Yeah, we're really excited
We
to have
are
you on
too.
here too, Chris. And if you remember, if you were one of the original Talking Social Studies listeners, what was it? Episode 2, I think.
That was 3 or 4.
Maps. Oh man, and we had Chris on. Chris co-hosting what was it?
It was
Maps
me
chat.
it was me and Pete
Ed.
Spiegel from World
Right.
GeoChat, and it was a long time ago, but I'm happy to be back.
Great. Now we're gonna scare all of our future hosts away. They're gonna sit there going, "Wait a second! If I'm on now, they're gonna come back to me."
We got plans for you.
Oh, goodness.
Oh. Well,
welcome, Chris.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, we're excited to have you on. So the episode today, New Beginnings, is kind of just that, New Beginnings. It is life after Ryan, who just put out the last episode for us. And so we brought Chris on, and we got a couple new things I think that we're going to try out, I don't know, to make the podcast better than it was. I think we even have
we've gotten some feedback on a lot of folks saying how they really like what we've had going, but they really wish the episodes were a little bit shorter because they like listening on plan time or on the car ride. So we're gonna do our best to try and keep them to 30 minutes or less, maybe break things into part 2 if we need to, but we're really gonna aim for that 30-minute mark.
And since Chris is one of our former listeners and now new co-hosts, we're gonna take his perspective on what all of our audience thinks. And at some point, we're gonna have to come up with some names for you two out here, because we can't even go with like Chris H. We've got
nope.
It's original Chris H and new Chris H.
We
I like Chris Hef
for like the next.
I mean, if you want to just go with Chris Hef, that works for me. I've been called far worse names than that, so.
Yeah, you know my last name. I have been too. So. Fill in the blanks as you wish. It has all been done, I'm sure.
I would have way too much fun with your name, I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah. That's what I always tell my students. Yeah, I've heard it all before.
We'll add that
It's
one
all
to the
good.
topic list. What's in the name?
Yeah, there you go. Ooh, how to manage teaching with a unfortunate last name. But the things they don't teach you in schools of education. Be careful who you marry and what names you acquire. So. Awesome. Well, we are hopeful that the shorter format will be more conducive for our listeners. And it's February, folks. February is the shortest month, but it seems to be the dreariest, the coldest. Well, except for Scott out there in California. I don't know. You guys don't have cold weather, do you?
You know, actually, it's been cold out here. 2 weeks ago, we had snow, just on
What?
in town. It was actually pretty crazy. But yeah, no, I can't complain about the weather out here compared to where you guys are.
Yeah,
But
Chris, I think you got us beat there. Didn't you get like a foot or something a month ago?
We had a foot of snow, and then we had our polar vortex. So, and then yesterday we had winds
Like,
of
I don't even know
60
what a
miles an
polar
hour.
vortex is.
I had to look
Polar
this one up.
vortex.
I looked it up, and it was like totally crazy. Like went from circles around the globe to looking like some heart machine, and I was like, okay, I got it.
Just earth-shatteringly cold. Like,
Ugh.
it hurts to go outside and breathe. That's how bad it is. So
yeah. And we didn't get it nearly as bad as you did, but yeah, we got a taste of it in central Indiana, and it was not pleasant.
No, it's not fun. Not fun at all.
No.
Yeah, we don't get that cold.
Yeah. So as we hit this kind of like stretch of just the yuck part of the school term, I don't know how else to call it, the blahs.
That's the official title of it.
The yuck. How does that get spelled?
I'm not putting that in the show notes.
Yeah. So, but we've all been there. How do you work past it? So we kind of talked about tonight, being kind of the introduction of our new team member, and just as we all reach this stage in the year, like what's your bag of tricks to kind of keep motivated?
So what is our challenge, and what is our way to overcome it?
Yeah.
At this time of the year.
Yeah. Well, and we all come from different scenarios. Like, you're in Indiana with the online stuff. We got Chris Heff in Chicago with the middle school kids who are, Twitter pated right about now.
I'll go first if you don't mind.
Go for it.
Not at all.
No, I think middle school is a whole different world. And like 7th grade, in college, I had a professor in college who told us that the entire point of 7th grade was to not let kids get any dumber than they were. So, and
my daughter's in 7th grade. That's pretty accurate.
I'd say I've got an 8th grader, and last year it was that struggle. And when you hit the middle part of the year, you really feel like, am I going backwards? Like, it is like things that you thought that they were good at, all of a sudden we're struggling with. And so for me, like, it's been about like variety and like trying things that we have not done yet this year. And so one of the things so our curriculum it's completely different, and I love it. We're going thematic instead of like the traditional geography themes. Instead of like traditional like geography of like studying it by regions, we go by different themes, and not the 5 themes of geography, just kind of like 5 random themes. And the one that we come back to after winter break is human rights. And it's fantastic because it's the first time that some of these kids have ever thought about the world outside of our very suburban community, and understanding that what we deal with here and what we complain about here is nothing compared to what life is like in other places. And so it's been fantastic. Like, we've done DBQs in this unit where we've like looked at the chocolate industry and understood that, as delicious and wonderful as chocolate is, it comes at a cost, both human and environmental. And so watching them like dig into documents and like understand that social studies is more than just a textbook. It's looking at journal articles and looking at pictures and looking at video clips and looking at charts and graphs. So it's been great to watch them do that. And then now they're doing some inquiry work right now where they've picked their own human right that they're actually interested in or excited about. And they're researching it, and then they're writing business letters, which is another skill that I think I had forgotten, that no one teaches business letters anymore.
Yeah.
So like they're excited about the idea of like writing to companies or writing to politicians, and actually seeing if we kind of get any feedback. Last year we did it. We talked about cobalt being mined in Democratic Republic of Congo by children, and kids wrote letters to politicians. They wrote letters to CNN. They wrote letters to like Apple and Samsung and Dell and the tech companies. And they were shocked when all of a sudden they started getting letters back from, like, our senator sent a letter back. One of the vice presidents from Apple sent them a letter back talking about Apple's policy about cobalt. So for me, like, this month
I
has
like
been,
that.
it's oh my gosh, it's so fantastic to actually, like, well, and it goes with, like,
Have
the
that
whole
authentic audience. Yeah, that's awesome.
exactly. It's authentic audience. It's like that whole C3 framework of taking informed action. So, like, it's and it's worked out really well that it's right now when we've hit those doldrums of winter, and so it's given them something to be excited about. And it's given me something to be excited about too. So it's been a very good month, actually.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
That is awesome.
What about you, Chris Hitchcock, with your different online approach?
My hurdle, I mean, as people who've listened to the podcast before know, like, I am on a weird schedule where there is rolling enrollment. The students work through the courses at their own pace within a constrained time period. So I don't, I have students that literally just started in the last week and students that are wrapping up. So I don't kind of have the same rhythm as a normal school year. Right now, my challenge is that we are going through accreditation in April.
Oh,
So
yeah, that's a
yeah, yeah. And so there's a lot of work that is going into that. And we also got a new principal at the end of December. And so that's been awesome, but she's been like totally, almost like 100% involved in, preparing for the accreditation piece of things. But she has a lot of really cool ideas. And so the accreditation hurdle, that end is in sight, but she has some really cool ideas for us that we're going to be trying, like a mini, almost like a summer camp type of course that we're going to offer. And then we're also trying to develop some kind of onboarding mini courses to kind of help students get over that hump when they're starting into online learning, because that's a big transition for a lot of kids who've never done online learning before, because there's so much more responsibility. I mean, not that students in a traditional classroom don't have responsibilities put on them, but like the pacing and managing their time and stuff like that is really a lot more on students' shoulders in our kind of environment. So we're really trying to think about that. We're making some really cool connections with other departments. At the university, we have a school of informatics, which is kind of like information science. And so they're helping us develop like a media literacy mini course, which is going to be really awesome. We're doing like some career development mini courses with the Career Development Center on campus. So we've got some really cool things like that are kind of rejuvenating. And so I'm really looking forward to accreditation getting over so we can kind of focus more into like those fun things and, helping students build up their skills so that they increase their chances of success with, continue, doing their coursework with us.
Very cool.
Yeah, the important things.
Yeah.
Oh man. It's funny. We have one of our schools is actually going through accreditation currently right now, and because of that, I was supposed to have a group of teachers today. We're doing a professional development on media literacy, and that got canceled due to lack of subs. We had to move some things around. It was a bummer because we were going to have the museum or Shag, who we've got to get Shag on one of these episodes, and
that would be awesome.
talking about some of their work. And it's just kind of a bummer, it's kind of how it goes for me this time of year. Everything is, you're in this like grind, and all of a sudden things are like converging all together, and everyone's trying to do things, and teachers are, overwhelmed with stuff. And so just trying to, find some new life and some just some excitement. Trying to find some things that are fun. So I've been doing a lot of been working through a lot of WeVideo. We're really fortunate we have a license for WeVideo, and so just trying to get people to start telling stories, making videos, and taking whatever it is their words are, and just transforming those into a cool piece of media, because it's just a different way of communicating today. And so I find a lot of fun in those. I'm really pushing the green screens with people right now. That's where my investment's been going, and it's nice too, because we've got some libraries now on campuses that have made green screen rooms, and So there's all sorts of cool little things in the works, but man, it's just that time of year where you just got to put your head down and keep going.
Yeah.
And then, man. And then, yeah, we got a history adoption too. I think Amy was mentioning about that, huh?
Yeah, we just our legislators approved, I guess the rough, because it's open for public comment now. Yeah. Well, which, I mean, overall, I like the document, but I was really hoping for something, I guess, a little more general in the actual document, and then maybe a companion document with the illustrative examples, because our last adoption was, apparently like 10 years ago. Yeah. Well, it was right after like 9/11. It was right after when it happened. So like there's all this focus on, Al-Qaeda. I'm like, and last year I'm like, seriously, like nobody hears about Al-Qaeda anymore. Like, but it's in my curriculum.
In
so
terms
I have
like,
to teach.
Oh, interesting.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I wanted the illustrative examples to be kind of like how, like, the College Board has theirs off. Like, here's 4 examples. You have to teach at least one. Mm-hmm. Because I wanted that fluidity. In fact, I was part of a committee looking at this stuff, and I was myself and the State Department gal, Brenda Chapman, and then they brought in a history professor from one of the universities, and he finally like just laughed at me. He's like, "You just don't like people telling you what to do." I'm like, "Yeah, that's it." But it's more that want. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'm a rebel. It's that whole pirate thing. But I just I want something that is for my teachers and my teammates. I want something that's going to be authentic, and I don't want them to like we're still working on, in some ways, we're still working on the understanding that like your curriculum is a have to.
Yeah.
That, you know what I mean? Like some of these people that, it's been beating my head up against the wall of, this is a have to, and explaining what it is the education lottery, that if there's 6 people who teach a course, it shouldn't matter who the kid gets placed with. They're going to get the benefit of all 6. We all have strengths. Let's give the kids all of our strengths.
Yeah.
Let's all try to be in roughly the same spot. So, but I've got a great team. It's just, there are times where you feel like you're fighting every direction, and you just like, we're hitting that. Yeah, you're right. It's that February kind of blah where you're like, okay, we got to be a team again. Let's be a team again.
Yeah. No, I know.
It
starts to just seem like, another thing to do. And then the problem is that if you don't invest the time and get the right people in on the committees to make the decisions, then you're stuck with this curriculum that, was picked just because it was the easy choice, and and it's not ever there. That's the worst part. They're changing the standards, they change the frameworks, they change all this, and the publishers aren't caught up, and they just, they put a new cover on. And
we can talk about that one with the AP World rewrite. For those of you who are out there that are in my same, like, what do we call it, a zoo? We'll see. I mean, those promises for January, it's now March. They're talking August, which will be November. So we'll get there.
Gosh.
Oh, Chris, I started teaching that course like 4 years ago, and there's been 3 like major overhauls. I looked at my boss this like fall, and I said, I got 1 more year to give you. If they pull another change like this, I'm done. I have to be. Mm-hmm. I can't get 2 years in a row. I've spent 4 years with inaccurate data because no 2 years have been the same. I can't. Mm-hmm. I don't know what to fix.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, are the changes supposed to go into place next school year?
Yeah. I don't know why there's the rush. Like I'm cool with the changes. I mean, I get why people are upset, but I do think spreading it out, slowing it down is a good move. I want things lined up 6 months before so that I can be I can only teach my kids as much time as I have to prep.
Right.
So
yeah, and
get there.
I'm not teaching AP World History now, but I have a kiddo who signed up for it for next year, and I would like, his teacher to actually know what they're supposed to be doing.
There's nothing worse than like open house and parents are like, "Hey, what do you cover?" And you're like, "I'll let you know in November when I get it." Like, I don't want to have that conversation. But I will say the coolest thing I've been doing with trying to keep my kids like involved and active is we started doing what's called the shower curtain review, where the kids are taking their key concepts from each unit, and they're starting to, I think I've got a picture somewhere. I might send it to attached. But each time period gets like a sketch note section of a shower curtain, so that the kids can hang it up like in their bathroom and do the like 5-minute reviews when they're on the pot. It's like the cereal box in the morning. Like, you'd be surprised how much you remember from looking at the cereal box when you were a kid. Well, stick it in the bathroom where you go hide in your phone.
Oh, that is too funny.
I have to say, my husband did that when he was prepping for the GREs. I would go over to his house that he was renting and go in the bathroom, and there were like at seat height were all these like lists of words and definitions taped on the walls, and I'm just like, this is weird, but okay. But,
I mean, you think about it, where are you going to spend 5 minutes multiple times a day?
Right. There you go. It's well, and you know what? I've actually heard, like, I think seen on Twitter people talk about that, like potty PD. Like they put that they put like little laminated things like on the stall doors in like the teacher restrooms, like little tech tip or something like that.
I haven't tried that, but I'm so stealing that idea.
Well, and on that note, we got 30 minutes.
Before this goes further into the toilet. Oh my goodness!
All right, so what's our topic for next time?
What did we decide?
Did we decide?
Oh, managing large group discussions.
Yeah.
There you go. That's
that was
a good
it.
one.
We're going to talk about talking with lots of people.
Yeah, I need help with that because my East Asian history class, I have like 32 in it. It's hard to get that many kids a chance to talk multiple times in a 52-minute period.
Yep. All right.
I need help with that.
Be thinking about what you do, and if you have ideas that you want to share with us, feel free to tweet them to TalkinSS, no G. And, maybe if they're ones that we're familiar with, we can definitely talk about them. If not, send us a little explanation or something. Maybe we can kind of crowdsource some things aside from the four of us as well.
Heck yeah. See, the whole reason we do this podcast is so we can like rate other people's minds.
Right.
That's the only reason I signed up for this.
I like how you think.
Perfect.
It's for the theft aspect of it.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
That's what education's all about. Stealing somebody else's idea and then making yourself look good because of it.
That's the mark of true genius.
Spreading the wealth. All right.
Well,
all right.
Welcome, Chris.
Did we stay under 30?
Next week. I don't know. I was thinking we need to actually time these.
All right.
We probably should. We'll work on that.
I think we're going to be 30.
We're going to be like 30. Group work in classroom. We're going to have assigned roles. Somebody's going to be the timekeeper. Somebody's going to be the secretary. Somebody's going to be.
That's not a bad idea.
Practice what we preach, right?
All right. Well, have we ended the show yet, or are we?
I think we're ending it now.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.